Hi, Dr. Dawn Marie here. I wanted to share with you briefly on the topic of what children need when they experience a loss in their lives, when they're grieving. Because like adults, children do experience losses that impact them and affect them profoundly. And as the adults in their lives, it's really important that we're able to help them through their journey of grief so that rather than becoming stalled or stuck in that grief and carrying it for a lifetime through to their adulthood, that they instead are able to heal and process through it and come out on the other end of their grief journey whole and healthy and able to move on from that place. So I just want to share with you 5 things that children need when they're grieving. This is not an exhaustive list, but it's 5 things that are a good starting point and really helpful in making sure that children are being helped through that grief process. And the first thing they need is information. Children need to know what happened. If they've lost someone that they love because of a death, they need information at an age-appropriate level about what happened, that the person died and how they died, and like I said, in an age-appropriate manner. So they don't need details that will perturb them further, but they don't need to be in the complete dark about it because it will create more questions. It can create fears and doubts so, as they try to make up their own story then to answer the questions that are going on in their mind. So they need information about what has happened. Then they also need an explanation or explanations about what has happened. So they need an opportunity to understand the information about what has happened. They may need explanations about what is death, what happened when Grandpa died, or now that my friend has moved away, what does this mean about our friendship? Will I ever see her again? Will I ever talk to my friend again? And so the explanation is important as well as the information. And then they also need help expressing their feelings. Now remember, children do not have the vocabulary or the world experience that we have as adults. So the things that we can put into words and the conclusions that we can draw are not the same as for children. With our children, we need to be able to give them the opportunity to express their feelings. And they may express those feelings through play, through drawing, through spurts of coming and asking questions and broaching the topic, and they're running off and playing and coming back. But having that opportunity to be able to express their feelings and to be able to process through what they're feeling and know that they have an open door to come to, that they're not going to be told that what they're feeling is wrong or silly or even being told don't cry. Don't cry. Sometimes they're told don't cry because the parent feels ill-equipped to handle the depth of emotions. But for them to be able to express where they are and how they're feeling and have a safe place to do that is very important. They also need to be involved in the goodbyes. That the thing or person they have lost, they need to be able to say goodbye, to add to the closure of this loss that is likely a permanent loss in their life. If it's death, it's a permanent loss. If it's a best friend has moved away, it may not be permanent. The best friend may come back, but as it stands right now, it's a loss and they need to be able to say goodbye. So let's say it's a best friend who has moved away and they didn't get to have one last play date together or do something special. Maybe a phone call, maybe your child can write a letter, draw the friend a picture, but some way to be able to say goodbye. If it's a grandparent or a loved one who has died, for them to be able to have their special way. For some families, they use balloons as a way of saying goodbye, and they each put a little message inside the balloon. They blow the balloons up, and then they release the balloons. But them being able to have their special way of saying goodbye. And sometimes a funeral is not enough of a goodbye for a child, because there's so much that goes into a funeral and so many people and plans being made and a big coffin and just all these different dynamics that it's all sometimes very new and different and odd to children. And a funeral may not be their opportunity to say goodbye. And so helping them find a way to say goodbye is important. And then fifthly, they need reassurance. They need the reassurance that you're there with them, that it's okay to grieve and to be sad, and it's okay to be happy when they do feel happy. They need the reassurance if they're particularly afraid that if that loved one has died, is their parent going to die? Or if something bad happened in that loss, is that bad thing going to happen to them? They need the reassurances that their world is still safe, that they're protected, that you are there to care for them and to take care of them, and to just reassure them that their security is not gone. And that reassurance may be something that you need to give repeatedly. It's not a one-off event. So those are 5 areas that you can kind of have in mind if you're helping a child through grief: that they need information, that they need an explanation, that they need help expressing their feelings, that they need involvement in saying goodbye, and that they need reassurance. Hope that helps.